Hey guys, Hailey Lain aka Key Black here with another Off the Cuff, and this time I'm gonna talk about Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Now, this is a little bit out of the blue. Those of you guys who've been following me for a long time know that since it came out, Ghost Trick has always been my favorite game. But would I recommend it now? Probably not. I have to set this up properly though. A couple years back, I was taking a road trip with Jess, who by now you guys know is an excellent writer and excellent director, and someone with very, very discerning taste in storytelling. I don't remember how we got onto the topic, but we started talking about Ghost Trick, and I must have been just gushing about the game because I just freaking love it. And at one point, she just kind of goes, yeah, I wasn't a fan. I didn't think it was very good. And I go, what do you mean you don't think it was very good? I took offense, you know? The thing is, this is one of those cult classic games. Anybody who's ever played it always says they absolutely adore it. I had never met anybody who didn't. And of course, I had kind of attached a little too much of my personality to my taste in that game. So I was like, what do you mean you don't like Ghost Trick? And she starts to explain. Now, heads up, there's gonna be spoilers in this video. You cannot talk about the content of Ghost Trick without talking about the spoilers, so heads up. The first thing she says is, well, the game treats death very insincerely for a story that's about death. Your main character wakes up dead, which is fine, but he wakes up dead with his ass in the air, so he's already in kind of a joke of a position. The opening lines are a record scratch. Yup, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. And then your main sidekick character, she dies like 5 or 6 times throughout the game. One of her deaths is a giant chicken lands on her. There are plenty of other really undignified deaths in the game. And for a story where the whole premise is you have to save people from these horrible fates, to be joking about all these kinds of deaths in kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, it's like there's a time when that's appropriate, but it shouldn't be so prevalent in a game that wants you to take this plot seriously. And on top of that, one of the things that she had said echoed a sentiment that I had actually had back when I played the game, but I had kind of squished down and buried because I figured I was wrong. And it was that when you're doing a noir story, there are a couple of tropes that you really need to pay attention to in order to keep the vibe intact. And one of those is, if you've got the male detective main character, your sidekick female character is gonna be a love interest. That's what everybody's gonna expect when they're playing that game. Back in the early fandom days for Ghost Trick, yes, there was a fandom. It was very small. It was mostly on tumblr.com from what I saw. I was actually something of a big name fan myself. I actually drew a lot of fan art for it, and a friend and I, at the time, had been working on an AU, here I go again, there's the AU, an AU that was solely designed so that Sissel was not a cat at the end of the game, and instead would allow for the romance that we genuinely thought was gonna happen between Sissel and Lin. This AU actually got a lot of attention. It was called Refined Temzik at Tumblr. We kind of co-ran it. We would switch off who would draw responses and we would answer questions as the characters in said AU. Now, I've said many times, I'm not a writer. I don't claim that the story of this AU was any good. However, it got a lot of attention. And I feel like looking back, that is probably an indication that there were a lot of people who felt like me about the game, who just kind of squished down the notion that, yeah, I didn't really like the cat reveal, but I guess it's okay, and I guess, maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong because everybody else seems to like it. I would not have been able to put my finger on exactly what it was about the game that bothered me until Jess said that. And then all of a sudden, I kind of sat there impotently frustrated because I had spent 10 years touting this game as the best thing since sliced bread, but I couldn't disagree with anything that she was saying. My opinion on the game had been based entirely on what I thought it was gonna be, and not on what it actually was. And so I want to paint a picture for you guys. It's 2011, I'm in high school, I'm playing this thing at 4 a.m. under the covers of my bed, trying to be quiet, and Yomiel turns towards the camera and he calls the player out directly. I was so scared in that moment. I genuinely thought that what was happening was, oh no, Sissel's the bad guy. I've been playing as the bad guy the whole time and he didn't even know. Oh my gosh, did his personality split when he died and the good version is the one that you're playing as and the bad version has somehow become its own thing and he's the one who's still trying to make the whole plot come to fruition and you have to discover what it is you did in life and you have to work against it in your death. Oh, this is so cool. That's not what happened. And so we're talking about it, and Jess goes like, yeah, the plot really should have just been Patrick Swayze's Ghost mixed with Somewhere in Time, mixed with the vibe from Take On Me's music video. So I have really mixed feelings about Ghost Trick. I love the game still. I love the characters and the premise. I love the art style. I love the music. I still take a lot of inspiration from it. But it's one of those ones where if I feel the urge to play Ghost Trick, I'm just gonna watch Ghost instead. It does everything that I want it to do. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks so much for listening and watching. I'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions about anything, or if you disagree with this video, please share your opinion in the comments. I want to see it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.